Hello and welcome to So Farscape,
a fun-filled Farscape fancast by a fervent fan
and a fresh-faced first-timer.
I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay,
and this is the story So Farscape. So we actually get to tell the story So Farscape because this is part 2 of a two-parter.
Yes, episode 120, The Hidden Memory, following 119, who would have guessed.
You're so good at math.
It's not nice, it's Nerve, that's the one. We talked about this last time.
It wasn't nice.
It wasn't nice at all. No.
Nerve, which was written and directed by absolute dream team, Ricky Manning and, who was the director? Rowan Woods, of course. And this time we've got the writer Justin Monjo and the director Ian Watson. Ian Watson has also done, I think, Till the Blood Run. Oh no, I'm embarrassing myself now.
So, the story So Farscape.
Prepare for starburst!
Last time, I mean, there's been a lot of continuity. Everything that's happening now actually started in episode 118 when Lorax stabbed Aaron.
Injuring her to the point that she needed some sort of genetic donor material to regrow her sebacean nerve or something like that.
That knife must have pierced my peripheral nerve. The only treatment is a tissue graft from a genetically compatible donor.
And there was nowhere to get that, except they had learned in episode 118, A Bug's Life, that there was a GAMIC base, a military science base, somewhere in the uncharted territories.
Is it just called GAMIC base, or is a GAMIC base a thing?
It's called a GAMAC base. So GAMAC either means military science or maybe secret, unacknowledged, like a black site.
Yes, which it clearly is, because nobody's supposed to know about it.
Except our heroes did find out, and John decided that he would stage a foolhardy rescue mission with no real plan.
No, other than just randomly jab people for genetic material. Fortunately, our PK Tech girl was also stationed at this base, who greatly helped them around.
Saved his bacon. And yes, them, because Chiana decided to come along. Chiana who's like taken some initiative to earn her keep.
She's definitely been becoming more of a part of the crew and actually working towards it.
Why do you think that is?
Because
she came aboard as a prisoner, as they all did, and she wasn't entirely sure about staying. But like,
I guess she recognizes a good thing.
Listen, Sunshine, you want to be part of this crew?
On your good days.
This is one of the good days. I thought you were Junior Miss Tough Chick of the Universe.
Yeah. When I can kiss or kick or cry my way out of it. This is way, 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 way different.
You bet your ass it is.
Yeah, it's got to be something general like that, right? Because there hasn't been a specific inciting event that made her realize, oh, these are people that I can rely on.
No, she's just, for the time being, it's safe. For the time being, it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick around until see how long it lasts.
And they had fun at that dinner at the end of Through the Looking Glass.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
So, the end of the previous episode leaves us with Aaron cured, or at least on the path to being mended, and John still imprisoned at the GAMAC base.
It's terrible, because while Jelena helped them to successfully acquire not just a tissue graft, like there's now synthetic tissue, just a simple one quick shot from an auto pipette,
and you get a genetic graft which like gives you all the material that you need to regrow your nerve.
Yeah, your peripheral nerve, which Chiana Chiana takes it back to Moya in the end. Apparently she can pilot a prowler. No big deal. Pretty impressive.
She's a girl of many talents.
But John has been found out.
Yes.
Because the leader of the GAMAC base, a leather-clad, scary-looking gentleman called Scorpius.
Scorpius.
I am Scorpius.
Saw him in the hallway and immediately recognized him as an imposter.
Right.
That man, he is an imposter.
I noticed, by the way, that Scorpius doesn't seem to have a title. He doesn't have a...
I wrote that down too.
He doesn't have a military title. He's just Scorpius. He's not Commander Scorpius. He's not Imperious Leader Scorpius. He's just Scorpius.
Because the red-headed woman in quite a similar outfit to his, who clearly works for him, she still talks to him as Scorpius.
Yes.
addressing him straight by name. Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Or Scorpy, as he's affectionately known by his prisoners.
Yes. Of whom we meet one other, that is Stark. He is John's cellmate.
Yes.
A longtime fan of the Aurora chair.
Yes, he seems to be having a little thing for it. I guess it's Stockholm Syndrome or something along those lines, because he really wants to get into the chair. And every time that they come for John, he goes like, can I go? Can I go?
Love the chair, love the chair, love the chair.
He's very possessive about it. I know that I'm giggling now because we're supposed to be a fun-filled Farscape fancast, but man, this is heavy stuff we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Played by Paul Goddard, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. He was in The Matrix. He was one of the agents.
Right, yes. He seemed to have a somewhat familiar face.
I mean, there's been a lot of... It was filmed in Sydney, so you see a lot of the same faces. Oh, the priest-stain in Jeremiah Crichton, you know, she was also in The Matrix.
Oh.
She was, I think, one of the captains, or maybe she was on the council. Yeah, I think she was
that
on
makes
the council.
sense, yeah. She's got the face for it.
So everybody's left in dire straits. At the end of the last episode, they administered the cure to Erin, didn't let her know that John was still in danger.
No, and it pretty much opens up to that, to her being taken care of by Zahn and slowly recovering, and immediately in distress as soon as she learns that John is not on Moya.
Yeah, she's told by Dargo. Dargo decides to tell her everything.
Yeah,
and she's outraged. Like, why are we here?
Tell me, and why are we still? Why are we not doing anything about this? And
also, why haven't you gone to rescue him?
Yeah,
and Dargo says, there are hundreds of peacekeepers there. He says, pointing at all of his tentacles, can't infiltrate.
But I can, is what Erin says, and immediately starts to get up, get out of bed, crawl out of bed, and she does another really good quick change. I mean, she's in that uniform before you can blink your eyes.
I wonder whose uniform that is. It's got to be Hassan, right? Because these are the PK uniforms from the commandos. Like, I wonder what they did with the bodies of those commandos. Clearly, they stripped them down.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe Rigel got his hands on them.
Shove them out the airlock, yeah. Find your own afterlife. Bye.
Yeah, but definitely naked. We're going to keep everything unless it belongs to Calvin.
What does this say?
Calvin.
Then they're not yours.
But yeah, so she's already geared up. Hey, speaking of outfits, Zan's got another kick-ass traveling outfit.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
got this gorgeous, silver robe.
Yeah, it's probably made from one of the silver skin flakes of Moya rather than the golden ones.
Okay, so you better not lick it or it'll turn red. Oh, that's not going to be the title of this episode. Okay, well, someone who's not nearly having as good a time as we are is John, who is strapped to the Aurora chair.
Yes, lots of more brief little flashbacks of his previous past, how he got here, lots of space shuttle shots, lots of shots of the Farscape 1 flying through the wormhole.
Yep.
And I've noticed something, that the Aurora chair seems to have the ability to not just extract someone's memories, but also turn them into a third-person view.
Yeah, well, that's the clip show, isn't it? I know. That's one that we've kind of got to forgive. But yes, I noticed that as well. Like, lots of, really cool exteriors of Farscape 1, John.
Yep.
When did you see that?
Exactly. Or
while floating out in space.
Later, people seeing themselves interact with someone else, because you'd think you'd get a first-person view of that event.
Hey, but that's kind of how memories sometimes work, right? Dreams as well. Like, sometimes you do see yourself performing like a third-person game.
Oh. Yeah.
The mind is plastic like that.
Okay.
Which is a property that the... John at one point calls her PK Barbie.
Ooh.
Welcome to Barbie World.
Is exploiting while she's operating the chair for Scorpius and for Crace. Crace showed up last episode.
Oh yes, Crace is having a ball. He's enjoying John being tortured in the chair, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's terrible, atrocious torture. You can see the incredible toll that it takes on John. His defiance is manic and panicked. He's weeping. He's exhausted. And insists that he's not resisting, but he is hiding something.
Right.
PK Barbie knows that.
And apparently,
her name is.
Apparently they can detect when you're blocking something from the chair.
Yeah.
After this interrogation session, he gets thrown back into into his cell, and he starts developing a bit of a rapport with his cellmate.
Yeah. Yeah, they get into another little altercation.
Over which side of the room we're supposed to stay on.
This is my side. You stay on your side. My side, your side. My side, your side. My side, your side.
There's a bit of suspicion because Stark is hiding something, and they're hiding things from each other. You wonder if Stark is a spy.
Well, at this point, with the whole man in the iron mask thing, I'm trying to wonder if he's like some sort of Sebastian prince or something that is being like sequestered away. Turns out later in the episode that he's not, but it's like
that was a cool thought. I thought this was a really well-drawn scene. They have this moment of suspicion of each other, but the suspicion doesn't last very long.
No.
Like, they're so traumatized and exhausted that their sort of natural hopeful tendencies shine through, because John correctly infers,
You're not crazy. Are you, Stark?
no, you're like how you're just acting like that, and you're
yeah, because if I act crazy, then they bother me less.
yes.
Wow.
And he's also hiding something, because he's hiding a little tech device which he can apparently hope to use to open the cell door by trying one code at a time. And John laughs and is like, oh, you're going to be locked in here forever if you're going to have to do that one at a time.
Yeah, not quite clear what that means. It was some kind of magnetic, like, decryptor thing, but one sequence at a time. How long does it take to do one
Exactly.
sequence?
There's and he actually runs over to the door and like fails again, and then like immediately doesn't do another one. But
yeah,
maybe it takes a long time to reprogram each sequence or something.
Something like that.
Like he made it from bits of scrap metal that he's managed to collect over the years. He's been there for 2 cycles, I
Two
believe.
cycles he mentions,
Yeah.
with over 100 sessions in the chair.
Yeah.
Woof. Another person who's not having a great time is Moya. We see her listing about in space.
Yes, she's kind of like doing donuts, trying to fly around, and can't starburst anymore, can barely keep position.
Yeah.
There's a brief mention that it would be tricky to maintain orbit, which is a bit weird. That's not how orbits work.
Yeah, well, when you're wobbling like this, I mean, it's mostly that they don't have propulsion control. Not necessarily they don't have propulsion. So then, maintaining orbit stably can be tricky if you have uncontrolled propulsion.
Right, but Moya presumably has the propulsion control, and Moya is also, going to benefit from maintaining an orbit.
Yeah, but it may be highly erratic, sort of like a muscle spasm, because she's in the middle of active labor.
Fair point, yes.
Her baby, conceived in episode 10, They Have Got a Secret, is coming.
Well, it wasn't conceived then. That's when they learned about it being present.
Well, no, I think it's fair to say it's conceived. I mean, Pilot does say that the catalyst that was released then, because Dargo kicks something open and those spores come out, that like caused, triggered, released, accelerated whatever the pregnancy.
Right, but immediately on later in that episode, there's already a pretty well-formed little baby ship there.
Yeah, we remarked on that being pretty impressive.
That's why the particle's a biomechanoid.
Yeah, it's a catalyst. A catalyst for pregnancy.
So I was under the impression that the whole control collar basically stopped her pregnancy as well, and just like she already was pregnant, and whatever this thing that was released, it definitely did things to the unborn Leviathan.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
And again, then the pregnancy started continuing, which apparently is like a bit of a there's not really a exact gestation period which Leviathans have.
I wonder how much of that is, I mean, obviously
Plot dependent,
yeah. Or whether it's maybe Pilot just concealing his lack of knowledge. Maybe he just hasn't bothered to look it up.
Right.
He's a little insecure about his lack of scientific knowledge, which has never apparently been an issue, honestly.
Eren, accompanied by Dargo and Zahn, take one of Moya's shuttles.
The transport pods,
pods, that's the one. And start flying back using the same data that was put in place by our little... using the same coordinates that were used by Chiana in leaving. They fly the same route back under the radar, at least through the gaps in the
that's
system.
Right. And it doesn't have a lot of security. Eren is quite confident in that. It won't have any sensors on top, because sensors would give away that there's a base underneath.
Yes.
Which, I mean, fair.
Good point, yeah. I mean, it works both ways, I suppose. And having a radar signal coming out there would like be a bit of a beacon, like there's something here.
Yeah. I wonder why it's so secret, though.
Yeah, we've not really seen anything. At first I thought that it was probably because of the chair, but later on in the episode, it seems that those chairs are fairly common in Peacekeeper.
I was curious what you thought about that, because I don't know. Erin is told by Dargo, probably from Chiana, that John has been put in the Aurora chair, which is extracting memories from him, and she hopes that he can resist it.
I'm hoping Crichton will be strong enough to fight the chair.
It is really ambiguous whether she knows what an Aurora chair is already, or where she infers it from what Dargo says.
Right, I got the impression she did, especially because later on, Crace says that, like, no commander has ever been put in the Aurora chair, which...
No, he says...
No captain has ever been subjected to such an indignity.
It could be unique. Yeah, I paid attention to that. So you could be right. It could be that there are more Aurora chairs. It could also be a unique feature. I just don't know.
And that explained why maybe that's the focal point of the base. I mean, that's the impression I got in the first episode, that whole Aurora chair was kind of the thing that base was there for.
That would make sense. I mean, it's a wormhole research base that belongs to Scorpius, but, not being able to go to the surface, not having access to regular access to space, you can't do a lot of experimentation. So the research must be acquiring wormhole knowledge, I guess, from brains.
Digging through people's minds,
yeah,
yes.
Kidnapping people who might know something.
Yeah. Jelena, in the meantime, is holed up in her little HAL 2001 pod area. I mean, come on, it looks exactly like that.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. The paneling lights, the little circles of lights with dots in the
also the
mirror.
red eye, which is kind of like, I mean, it's the gateway in this kind, not the actual eye, but it still has the same kind of look to it.
I see what you mean.
And she starts talking to John again, tells him that, basically, again, turn your back to the camera because they can see but they can't hear.
That was a good little reminder to us as the audience. And John goes, oh, yeah, I remember. I mean, obviously, he's been through a lot. He forgot this for a little bit.
And she's doing more phone switchboard technology by patching little cables into various things with her fold-out tech case. I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah, she seems to be able to do a lot with that thing.
Yep, and tells him to hang in there. And then John says to Stark, who's been overhearing all this, it's like, who is that?
Yeah.
He says he has a friend on the outside, and now we both have a secret.
Yes.
Which is kind of a nice bonding moment.
And it's both geared towards escaping.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, Stark does not have a lot of confidence in John's ability to withhold his thoughts. Stark is convinced that he alone can withhold his thoughts from the chair indefinitely.
Yes. But Jelena tells him to do exactly the opposite. Like, don't hold back. Think of the first time we kissed, or the time we kissed. I'm not sure if it's the first time or the one time.
Yeah, when we kissed on the... Because that is, of course, the memory that he's been withholding. He's been protecting her identity.
Yes.
Did you cotton onto that before you saw it here?
No, I don't think I did.
Neither did I. In my initial watching, anyway.
Yeah. Because like he's not... They're digging for information about wormholes through him, but he doesn't know anything about wormholes.
Yeah.
He's already given them everything that he knows. Like, I got sucked through one, and that's it. And I've been trying to figure out about it, and they don't believe him, obviously. But,
no, because they unlocked like a memory that he didn't know he had.
Yeah.
Where Jack the Ancient apparently imparted some wormhole clues into his brain.
What I did get, however, was that he was basically holding out, and presumably to make sure that they didn't give up on him, didn't kill him, didn't whatever. It's like, as long as he has a secret, they're going to be interested in him.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. I mean, Jelena does observe that once Scorpius believes that John is no longer useful, he will execute him.
Yep. And therefore he is trying to, basically keep a secret and protect her identity at the same time. So she gets working on the chair. She cozies up with another little tech underneath, does a little bit more plugging and unplugging, removes a module, replaces it with a different one.
Yeah, that other tech under the chair was like, oh, hi, Jelena.
Hey, Beeks, you need some help?
Oh, hi, Jelena. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's like a little sort of casual workplace friendship, like...
Working on the torture chair, like, how was your coffee?
Well, this is apparently what life is like for the tech cast.
Yes.
Like, they have a much more relaxed society. They just have jobs to do, and they go and do them. And she tells the tech to clear off. You go and do something else, I'll do this. Oh, well, you're much better at this anyway.
Yes. She does a little bit of plugging and playing.
Yes, she swaps these two cylinders. She's brought along one cylinder, and she replaces one of the cylinders because the chair is being prepared for maximum power under the supervision of PK Barbie. I think her name is Neem. And just in time, Jelena crawls out just as Scorpius and Crace walk back in.
I noticed that with Crace, they're still doing the showing his emotional state by how well his hair is done.
Yeah, it's still like he's got these loose braids hanging out.
Yes,
and
when he's cool and composed, and his hair is nicely smoothed back, and when he's like coming unraveled, he's literally got his hair kind of frazzled as well.
Yep, he's not as clean shaven. All the lines are kind of
He's very disheveled.
Yeah, as if he hasn't slept in days. Because he is gloating. He is loving it, and he can't wait. He just wants John to suffer.
Yes,
right. That's basically his whole thing.
At this point. So they go over and get John. Much to the chagrin of his cellmate, who's like basically throws himself at them and no, take me.
Oh yeah, to distract them so that he can finish talking to Jelena.
Gets beaten up by Crace, which earns Crace quite a disapproving look from Scorpius, I noticed.
Yeah, well, Scorpius was playing good cop here.
Yes,
because then he goes to John.
You see, Crichton, this is what I'm trying to keep you from.
Yes, Scorpy. You're all heart.
But that disapproving look was all for Crace. It's like he's going, you loser.
I'm sure that he is disapproving of Crace, Scorpius is, because you can see how relentlessly calm he is.
Scorpius, yes, entirely, always.
Never raises his voice, speaks very clearly, softly, almost seductively. I mean, yeah, he's wearing a gimp suit and he's got these fantastically intense eyes and this really delicate speech. But he is hard as stone.
He's a
ice cold.
Yeah. So John, back in the chair, now gets to relive his memory with Jelena.
Yeah.
And as they are kissing, they are interrupted by Crace wandering in.
Grace, don't you ever knock?
Now, I saw that you were busy writing in your notebook, and then you looked back up, and then Crace was in the room, and wait, what?
Yeah.
We have to take it back there a second, because this shocking moment where you see all this kissing, all the editing is still very, very fast, and then the kiss turns out not to be on the Zelbinian, but is suggested to be on the command carrier.
Right.
Well, the other command carrier,
right.
Crace's.
Crace's ship, yes. And there's a little exchange between John and Crace where John gives him the information about the wormholes.
Yes, and Crace calls him Commander Crichton.
Oh, Commander Crichton.
Yeah.
Which, that is his title. Different chain of command, but still.
No, I mean, that's fair enough.
And sort of chides him a little bit for, I see you've been enjoying the amenities of my craft.
Yes.
for kissing one of the techs.
She's a pretty lass.
A different lass, though.
Oh, was it? Oh,
I
didn't notice that.
There's a different, also blonde.
Yeah.
But apparently Jelena altered the memory to show a different face.
Oh, very clever. I mean, she is a very clever girl.
Now, Crace is a little bit outraged, and I like that his focus of the outrage is on John. Tell them that it's not true.
Damn you, Crichton! Tell him the truth!
Oh, the chair can't lie. There is no way. Well, I mean, the chair maybe, of the people in the chair maybe not, but the chair itself apparently can.
It does not occur to them that it may have been tinkered with. Like the loyalty of their techs is unquestioned, probably because they're treated so brutally.
Yes.
And Scorpius says, of course it's not true.
But there's only one way to be sure it is a lie.
Crace is outraged that he's like to be put through the indignity of being put in the chair, and like as he's being questioned.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah. He asserts his authority over Scorpius,
which doesn't exist.
Scorpius stops talking to Crace and talks instead to his loyal soldiers behind him.
Yep.
And like makes a legal, numerical, and even emotional sort of moral argument to them. Like if you want to keep your commander out of that chair, you're going to have to kill me and all my men on this base.
All my men, yes.
Yeah.
Which again suggests that he is in fact completely in control of the base, despite the fact that there's a commander.
Yes.
Which is weird because there was the commander, the unlucky fried Sebastian, that died at the end of the last episode, and he was the commander of the base commander.
Yes, that's right.
But apparently takes orders from Scorpius. So he must be some sort of, non-commissioned officer type.
Yeah, he says his authority on this Gamak base is absolute.
Yes.
And even the last thing that he says to the soldiers who were standing there and on whom Crace is relying for protection,
Do not listen to him. That is an order.
Do what you know in your hearts is the right thing.
By the time that a psychopath like Scorpius makes that kind of moral argument, oof.
Which makes me actually wonder. I mean, I've called the peacekeepers basically hired thugs before.
Yes,
rightly
so.
Is that maybe what's going on here? Has Scorpius maybe just like hired the peacekeepers to run this base? Like Scorpius is doing the things.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing my research. I need people to bring me in the people that I think I can probe their brains for and get wormhole technology from.
Yeah.
And he's just like, and that's why his control
I
is
need a
absolute.
security force.
Yeah.
Because he's their client.
Right, yeah.
Very good. While this is taking place, the rest of our heroes have arrived on this planet. They're unloading the gear.
Mm-hmm. They're on the surface, on top of this big spire rock, which apparently contains the base, which has a rather pleasant atmosphere by the way it looks. When on the approach shots, it look all dark and grey, and then when they're walking out and about in what looks like it's got this weird lattice work of.
Yeah, it's all crumbled. It looks like an airsoft arena.
Something like that. Yeah.
Like it'd be really fun to play
paintball.
That was actually filmed in I think it's called Sydney Harbour Park. These are old World War II battlements.
Oh, okay.
We've seen this before. The Tavlex.
The orcs, the space orcs.
Space orcs,
yes.
Exactly. Space orcs, Mad Max cosplayers. Like their base was also filmed here
at the same location. Yes, Zahn and Dargo are preparing explosives. Zahn is apparently upgrading explosives. I didn't know you could upgrade explosives. Maybe, but with her chemistry set, they can do that. And they need more rocks. And
they have a little chat about his Qualta blade. I think this is a Euro scene. Do you know how in the first season additional scenes were filmed for the European market? Yeah. Because it's just some backstory and conversation.
Yeah.
She asks about. It seems like such an unconventional weapon.
Yes.
And he tells about the Telox who laid siege on Luxa for 100 solar days.
Yes, that's an interesting thing that I've noticed that coming up a few times as well. That they're talking about solar days all of a sudden.
Yeah,
because apparently Erin had to heal for 10 solar days before her nerve had properly regrown.
Yep.
And suddenly they mentioned Sol days or Soli days. I thought was the first thing what they called it, but later on they called it solar days.
Yeah. Now I think you asked about that before, whether they have like statute days in addition to the cycle and the Microt, and that's apparently what it is. Their standard day is a solar day.
Yeah.
Probably standardized around some sun. I don't know.
Whomever got there first, I guess.
Maybe the inventor of the Hetch drive who sold it to the rest. Who knows?
I noticed that Erin's weapon has had a little modification. She's got a huge flashlight on the top now.
I noticed that as well. She's got her space stire again. And a big honking flashlight, which is good because it's pretty dark inside.
No sight anymore, just like a flashlight, which it still looks a bit the same. But
I mean, she usually fires it from the hip anyway. What does she need a sight for? She infiltrates the base, climbing down the stairs. Like, this is a fantastic filming location, by the way. It's all concrete and metal staircases, and she looks great in her leather outfit.
She does.
Still having a little trouble. Her hand's still shaking a little bit.
Yeah, she's not recovered completely.
But she's quick to infiltrate. Like, she's quite competently making her way through this base.
Yeah, she's a peacekeeper. She's just like, act casual.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to, like, if there's enough people on the base, nobody's going to really act like that's anything out of the ordinary to have her walking around there.
It's basically the peacekeeper equivalent of like walking into somewhere with your shirt slightly unbuttoned, showing a t-shirt underneath, rolled up sleeves, pencil in your mouth, clipboard,
high-vis vest and a clipboard.
High-vis, yes. And like struggling with everything with like an open can of Coke, and then asking someone, "Can you get the door? Come on, get the door."
John is returned to his cell, where we learn something about his cellmate.
Yeah,
he's being quite. He's had quite a turn of character, I suppose. Rather than being standoffish and defensive about his side of the cell, he actually comforts John now.
Risk Crichton.
Oh, he needs it.
Yes,
like John tries to. We've got to try and escape. We've got to get out of here. And I think Stark recognizes it. He knows the stages of terror and trauma involved, and which stage John is in, and he recognizes that John is exhausted. John falls into Stark's lap.
Yep.
And he cradles him and like caresses his hair and just holds him like, no, you need to rest. I thought it was such a cool moment.
Yes, and then he undoes his mask.
Yeah.
That's where we learn that he is definitely not a Sebastian prince.
Unless Sebastians glow on the inside.
Yeah, and I don't think this is like fairly standard for him. It isn't explained what it is, but his face looks like it's been burnt away and it's glowing from the inside. Yeah. And that glowing light seems to have a rather soothing effect on John.
Yeah.
What is that? What did you just show me? I'm able to give a few thoughts, that's all. Rest, my friend.
He tells him that he's a member of the Burnick slave race or something
Very
like
good.
that.
Bannock.
Bannock, that's it.
Bannock slave race, yeah. And our slavers think that we can't feel. It's just that our feelings don't always show.
He also has a hidden memory, which he is keeping
very
from.
Good. That's the title.
Which he's also keeping from Scorpius,
which is why he's still alive. Scorpius finds him curious. And I guess trying to optimize the functioning of the chair, wants to find out how it's possible.
Yeah, try to get through that, break through that barrier.
As Scorpius and Neem are trying to do to poor Crace. Now, I've got to say,
seems to be a bit less resistant to the chair.
He is screaming, he's crying. What a fantastic performance by Lani Tupu, who I noticed, or who you noticed, was credited twice.
Yes.
He's in the main cast in the opening credits, and then he's also listed as a guest
star. So I guess if you play different parts, because as the pilot's voice.
Hey, easy money. Well, not easy money. I mean, you have to be stuck in a chair and scream and scream and scream while these memories are being extracted. Memories that we recognize from primarily that old Black Magic episode 109.
Yes, where he was specifically about him being. Stolen away from his parents, Shanghai. I believe they actually call it Shanghai, doesn't it?
Crace says it himself, even.
Yeah.
My parents were common farmers. I was shanghaied from their commune as a young boy.
Which,
I guess, translator microbes.
Yeah, okay. It's just such a specific word because it's, there is no Shanghai in space.
No, therefore, translator microbes.
No, that's true.
But mostly scenes from that vampire dude who was kind of also mentally torturing Crace at the time in order to get him to become more aggressive towards John, even more so.
It is a sad state of affairs when just remembering your childhood is torture, as it is for Crace. Until we land on the final memory of that episode, where he receives his orders to return.
Yes,
which Lieutenant Teague has concealed, and then he kills Lieutenant Teague. And then Scorpius looks at Crace because,
I was like, oh.
You're not getting out of here.
No, totally not.
I have a command carrier now. Or however that works.
More screaming, more shouting.
Yeah, there's a lot of screaming. I mean, I've got to say, the performance by Lani Tupu, well, I've said it before, is fantastic. There was actually a moment, I don't think it was here, I think it was later on with Aaron, where he was doing one of these takes, and then the power cut out. And just... And everybody was standing in the complete darkness with him still finishing his screams. Ooh, bone-chilling that must have been.
Aaron somehow manages to find Jelena.
Well, we can sort of infer how she's doing that by, just as you say, she walks in so competently. She knows how these bases operate. She knows what she's wearing, too. Because
she knows she's looking for Jelena because she's been told that Jelena is there. And been helping them, so, yeah.
Like, she's got Lorak's ident chip, because Tiana brought that back. She's got a commando uniform. She knows all the Peacekeeper protocols. She is Sebastian, so she can pass through the DNA scanner. Like, she has the run of the place.
Right.
And she's very cautious, because when she does find Jelena opens the door, and she gets gloved in the face.
Grabbed, yes.
And an unseen voice says,
"Is there surveillance inside this cell?"
Called it a cell, by the way. We talked about this before. Like, what kind of space is it that Jelena's in all the time with a quite a nice wet bar? Apparently, it's a cell, but I mean, that's not where you keep prisoners. We've seen that.
I mean, in a monastery, the monks' quarters are also called cells. So it's not unusual for something other than a actual prison cell being called a cell. I mean, the fact that it's called a prison cell implies that there's other kinds of cells.
Right. Yeah. Okay. We get the fateful meeting between Aaron and Jelena. They have a little heart-to-heart. No, that's not really fair to say. They're not really opening up to each other, but they are focused on the mission. Certainly, Aaron is,
and quickly determines here that Jelena is in fact still willing and able to help.
Yes, and while John did not have a particularly good plan for getting what he needed to help Aaron, Aaron certainly has an excellent plan. I mean, we don't even see her executed. We just have to assume her competence because everything that she does displays that, yeah, she knows what she's doing. We don't even need to see how she's coming up with this plan.
Okay, so that's a part that I went like, okay, this is a bit weird.
Why?
Because the head of security certainly would not suddenly be chumming up with a random peacekeeper who shows up. I mean, she talks to him and he acts like she's completely belongs there, and he's the head of security. It's like he should be like, I haven't seen you before. Suddenly in on this whole thing with the prisoner and with Scorpio, but no, apparently this like
Scorpio,
whatever, Scorpius.
No, I get what you mean. I think that this is narrative compression, and I think that it's a shame that we don't see everything. If it was a John jam, then we would see all the steps because John is our focal hero most of the time.
Right.
But so I think it is fair to say that some planning has gone on because she knows to scan for something. So at this point, she already knows about Stark's magnetic doodad.
Yes.
Which we never saw her learn about. So she must have heard that from Jelena. We didn't see Jelena learn about it either.
No.
So there must have been some communication to prepare for that because apparently she's taken Hescon is his name, Lieutenant Hescon, right. And told him she's impersonating someone from Krasis command carrier.
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah,
there is nothing in there.
Just telling you what I picked up from Krasis carrier.
And saying, we've detected something from this room.
Like, it's impossible. I would have detected it. And he does a scan to prove her that she's wrong. And then she goes like, oh, you're right.
See?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What the frill is that?
Obviously nothing.
Hescon goes in, seizes Stark by the neck, tosses him across. Stark is panicked and outraged and attacks John.
That he's been betrayed, yes.
But all is soon well when she pistol whips Hescon.
Yes.
and John grabs Stark by the chin and just points him at, look.
Who is she? That is the Radiant Aaron Sun.
She's with us.
The Radiant Aaron Sun,
yes.
He calls her.
Oh.
He is so happy to see her. Like, who would you rather see? When you're stuck in a cell, who would you rather see busting the door open and then you know everything is all right? Aaron, right?
Or?
What do you mean?
You'd rather... Oh, sorry. Never mind. Yeah. No.
I mean, if it's Rigel opening the cell, then you go, oh, I'm even better than I was before.
Yeah, what the fuck happened? Like, things must be worse than I assumed.
Yeah.
They start running towards the surface, Jelena coming along with John and Aaron, which leads to the most nonsensical comment in the entire episode, as far as I'm concerned. When Jelena goes like, oh, no, peacekeepers. And I was like, yeah, what were you expecting? It's like, of course there's peacekeepers here.
There's literally nothing else. It's rocks and peacekeepers. That's what you've got. And floor grates. They pick up a floor grate and they climb underneath just in time for Peacekeeper Barbie to march over them. Look at her outfit, by the way.
Yeah, she's like very much in the tight leather latex type thing with these long... dress panels hanging down in front, still wearing trousers. I mean, it's like a super long loincloth or something like that.
Scorpius has that a little bit as well. He's got the tails along the back, but he still has the front panels. It
must be something of their thing.
And she doesn't even look that out of place when you compare her to the PK soldiers behind her. All of them they're also wearing leather. These weird sort of leather shawls.
They're more like Judge Dreddy type PK soldiers.
Oh yes, Judge Dredd.
They also have the helmets and everything like that.
I am the law.
I am the peacekeeper.
So they are miraculously undiscovered while they're glaring up through the grate. A very cool shot, and then
no.
I know.
Things on Moya are not going well.
No.
Oh no! Yes.
I love this. Pilot is so concerned. He goes,
Oh no!
Oh no!
Like I was Pilot going like,
super
wow.
bogan. Well, not bogan. He's a New Zealand actor.
Yes.
Arlani Tupu. Apparently there is something not going very well with the birthing because this is not a normal Leviathan baby.
No. And apparently, I mean, like the way Moya is swinging about, I'm thinking like we're going to have some sort of centrifugal force birth coming going.
Sling it out.
Yep.
Well, we actually saw like her. I think I saw someone on Twitter remark that, is this the first time that we've actually seen up a birth canal on cable television?
Or at least someone climbing into one.
Yeah. I mean, you see it from the outside first. So you see these panels opening and a strut retracting. Clearly her birth canal is a mechanism as much as it's biological.
Yeah, biomechanoid. Pilot warns them that in order to give birth, she's going to have to depressurize the entire ship.
Yeah.
And they have 80 microns to get to a pressurized room. And where's that? And it's like, well, my nest is, or did you call it a nest? Or is
Den.
My den's
Oh, well, that's very lucky for you, isn't it, Probacto?
We can't get to you in 80 microns.
Go to the hangar bay and there's pressure vessels there. You can climb into one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, I think climb into the hangar bay, get into the Prowler, get into the
yeah, they've still got the
Farscape
Prowler.
1, get into one of the other transport pods, because Moya has more than one transport pod.
I mean, she should do. Yeah. I think they're disposable. You've definitely got Farscape. That's right. They've got 3 spacecraft. Well, at least 2.
Yeah.
Maybe she only has the one. I don't know. But at least 2 that he could get in. But maybe the hangar is quite far away as well.
Right.
No, it's not. We've literally seen Stan's landing, and we
don't know how far there is to walk. Moya's big. Moya's big.
That's really big.
Chana can't get her container to open.
No, because it's locked, and then the other one opens, and Rigel goes, "It sure is, my dear."
Oh.
He locked it.
He's such a bastard. Yes.
And I don't know. Okay, and so this is kind of an upsetting and creepy scene.
It
where
is very creepy.
He's very Benny Hill handsy, and
He is very smugly offering her space in his, so he can snuggle up to her. There's a little bit of discussion about which various parts of anatomy are being pressed up against each other.
He's so sleazy about it. But where is this coming from?
I
he
don't
has
know.
never shown interest in bipeds. He's been quite offended by the idea of Zan in the nude.
I'm not really a body breeder. I mean, well, I'm not made that way.
Help! Help! A mad Delvian exhibitionist is forcing herself on me visually.
And yet he is creeping on Chana.
Yeah, well, just a few episodes ago, she tried to put the moves on him, and he was sort of huffy and outraged.
Keep your fantasies to yourself, frog boy.
Fantasies about you? Ugh, why? I never...
What's his game? Why would he imagine that Chiana would even be bothered?
I have no idea. But yeah, they are in the container, pressed up very closely together.
Fogging up the window, and
apparently
then
the nerves get a little bit to him.
He lets out a little helium fart.
Yep. And Shannon's like, what was that? And it's just some helium.
Just a bit of helium. Helium.
That doesn't seem... Hey, to be in a pressure container that is completely sealed off, and someone's pumping helium into it, that's
fine, as long as there's
that's right, it is inert.
Helium's inert. It's not a big problem. It's you're just adding to the atmosphere. It's not really going to. In fact, you're not even increasing pressure because it's still everything. It's already sealed off, so everything's already in there. Unless his bowels have very high pressure.
I was going to say,
but even then, it's going to be minimal. It's not at all a problem. Lead to the funny scene where they are now talking in squeaky helium voices.
I don't like being in confined spaces. I get nervous.
You're disgusting.
Hmm?
Yes, which is what would happen.
Right.
Yes, because we've established that it's an acoustic phenomenon. So if you were in a room with only helium, you would speak all squeaky. But God,
there's still oxygen in there because they're still breathing. But yes,
what a nightmare. We see once again a shot of Moya's birth canal and a beautiful crystal wrapped red and black silhouette in there. It already looks quite menacing. Meanwhile, Aaron is stalking through the base because in order to get to the surface, they need senior officers.
Right. Apparently, Lorac's chip is not good enough for that.
No, they need a senior officer.
So she goes and finds Grace.
Unattended,
in
still
the chair,
sitting in the chair with the memory of killing Lieutenant Teague on the screen. She talks to him. He does not recognize her voice.
At first, no.
Who's that?
And even when she taunts him about that, he still doesn't recognize her.
Until she says, I'm permanently tainted.
Irreversibly contaminated.
Irreversibly,
that's right.
That's the one. Irreversibly contaminated. And
then he identifies her. He remembers her name.
And
well,
he goes
of course. He's recorded that message for
Aaron's son. He still tries to threaten her.
Yeah, he goes through a few stages. I thought it was interesting how Justin Monjo wrote this because I don't know the exact order, but he appeals to her oath as a peacekeeper.
Yes,
you have my oath as a peacekeeper.
Yeah, well, we know what that's worth.
And she goes like, yeah, that ship sailed, mate.
Yeah, and also look who's talking.
Yes.
God. He tries to use his own authority, which she doesn't acknowledge his authority at all. And I think the last one that he lands on is a threat.
I will track you down and kill you, Officer Son. On that I give you my vow.
Well, you're going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
It's not a big threat. She, on the other hand, just turns the machine up to 11.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ooh, good going. Making him even crazier than he already is.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
that is... I mean, I certainly can't blame her. I've never walked in her shoes, but turning the torture device on and walking away.
Just, yeah, and you can hear him screaming and screaming and screaming.
Oh, my God. The phrase, not even my worst enemy comes to mind. Because
yes. So, Jelena and Crichton are having a little tete-a-tete underneath the floor grating.
Yeah, I've got to say, I didn't love this this part of the plot with Jelena as like her decision to leave depends on whether this boy likes her or not.
Yes,
I never like that in general.
No, she's infatuated with him. She loves him,
but she wants some commitment from him.
Right? She asked like, "Do you love Aaron?"
Yeah, and do you want to be with me or Aaron?
Yeah, that's basically a thing. It's like, I'm only going to come with you if I don't have to watch you making calf eyes at Aaron all the time. It's like, I don't want to, like, if I don't have a chance with you, then I'm not coming, because I don't want to torture myself with that. That's the impression I got of it, at least.
Yeah.
She wasn't making any ultimatum.
No, you're right.
She was going to say, like, either I have a chance with you or I'm not coming. That's basically what she's going on.
Yeah,
and he's refusing to commit. He's like, doesn't want to say.
Yeah, he's saved by the bell when Aaron arrives.
I mean, he played her, really. He played on those very emotions the first time around when they met her in the whole PK Tech Girl. Remember?
Did he? He didn't manipulate her. I think that was quite sincere between them.
Okay.
He had no reason to. I mean, they were just, they were replugging the...
I thought there was another moment where they...
You're thinking of Chiana in the last episode. Chiana... when she was working with Jelena, told her that, no, John's in love with you.
That's it, yes.
To motivate her, like, oh.
Yeah. And now, of course, she wants to know and make sure that that is actually true.
Yeah, because she's seen John and Aaron in the looking at each other. So Jelena asks Aaron, like, tell me what the deal is. Do you want to be with John?
And she's a bit like confused, like, what's going on here? I didn't really think about that. What's it to you? That as well.
I actually kind of like how it's resolved here, because Jelena, realizing that John and Aaron have feelings for each other that they're not resolving, she decides to stay behind. Aaron thinks that it's a stupid idea, but Jelena says, I can take care of myself.
Yes, which she clearly can.
Yeah, she has so far. Who knows what she's had to do to stay alive so far.
Aaron and John start making their way towards the surface.
Yeah, the tempo really ramps up now.
Yeah, Scorpio finds Crace slumped over in the chair and decides, somehow miraculously deducts that they are making a run for the surface and sets the security forces on him. We see our Commander Heskell...
Heskell,
walking proudly with his gun in front of his security forces, running towards the stairs. Actually, they said he's going to take the lift or something.
Yes, the level risers.
The level riser.
So Neem offers the option, do you want me to just burn them out of the stairs? And he goes, no, says Scorpius, we need John alive. Yeah. We'll use the level risers. And we go, ha ha ha, we've heard that word before.
If the peacekeepers come up through the level risers, this is where they're going to surface.
When Zahn was preparing the explosives, when the peacekeepers come up, they'll have to use the level risers. So we'll leave some surprises for them.
Right. Okay, I missed that part. Chiana and Rigel come gagging out of the chamber.
Out of the pressure pod and into the fryer because oh no,
the birth is not going well.
Oh no!
What do you mean? Oh no!
The baby is stuck. The baby is too big.
There is something wrong with the baby because
the baby is armed.
Yeah. They get a hologram and they see that it is bristling with weapons. And that's the problem. Moya's birth canal is not designed for a craft of this type.
No.
And the baby is starting to panic.
Yep.
And threatening
charging its weapons.
Yep.
Chiana takes charge, says like, oh, can you like pressurize this pathway, and I will go in there and I'll kick the baby out myself if I have to.
Wow. Like once again.
Yeah, Chiana realizes they're in trouble. So again, it is self-interest, but she does. I mean, she could have made a run for the Prowler or for
it seems that they've just collectively forgotten that they have other spacecraft on board. We're back up top on the base. Everybody made it to the airsoft.
Yeah, fight scene.
Stark is back. I don't honestly remember how they split up in the first place.
Stark was rescued with... Oh, yeah.
Right.
They kind of forgot about him when they were sequestered in the grating. Maybe Stark was just sitting there in a corner going like, I'm not here, not my problem.
They must have split up there.
Yeah.
He must have gone up first, but it was a little bit quick.
They gave him a big gun. Because he's like...
Everybody gets it, yeah.
He is holding his own.
Yeah, because Dargo brought some supplies from the transport pod, so there's a firefight.
Yeah, there's a few explosions. They leave a little present for the peacekeeper forces as everybody runs away.
There's some more cool banter between John and Stark.
Oh, what I really liked about this also when they walk back up and they come up on the stairs, and Dargo is standing there waiting for them, and he just goes like, "Good to see you again." It's like just. Very simple, very cool, and very collected. And like,
it's good to see you again.
That's the only thing he had to say about it. Like, not my friend, my comrade. It's just like
you can see how Dargo speaks to someone he respects.
Yes.
Certainly, like that he respects on the same level. How he spoke to Aaron, it was calm, straight to the point. Understanding what the consequences could be. Like, he doesn't try to manipulate someone that he respects. He tells them exactly what's true and leaves it to them to make decisions.
Make the consequences. Yes. Also found it really hilarious how in the firefight Dargo is like all raw and shooting his keyblade and blasting, and Zahn is just like very dispassionately just like firing her gun and
just holding it from the hip and just spraying it. And I bet like her body count has got to be like 10 times higher than Dargo's.
But her expression is completely impassive, and she's just like casually
and one
shooting
more
folks.
Sent to hell, and one more. Here comes the grim spectre of death. Everyone prepare for the horror of mortality. Here we go. I will bathe on your corpses because it's the only way I can sleep.
Damn.
What? She's cold, man.
Stone cold.
Not so much John and Stark, who are having a wee laugh, which is, it was kind of charming in that moment when they share with each other what their secret memory was. Oh, it's a place I saw as a boy. What about you? Oh, this time I kissed a girl. What, really?
Yes.
I thought it was about his doomsday device. About wormholes, it wasn't. It's only about the time I kissed a girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this time I've been rewatching it. I've been much, much more affected by the torture that John was put through. Like, I saw it initially the same way that you do. Bravado, right? The hero being kicked around, sort of like in Firefly. But he was so unprepared for it, and this laughter, like. That's kind of a paradoxical response to the terror that he must still be feeling. It's mania.
Yeah, it makes sense.
In this moment.
Meanwhile, on Moya, Chiana is jostling the guns from the ship. The gun is about as big as she is.
Yeah, it's a cool prop. It's kind of sort of wobbling about.
It's kind of unclear what she is actually doing there, but she's like pushing and shoving it a little bit. And
yeah, you're right. I don't understand exactly what she's trying to do. She can't move it. She can't budge it out of the way. Oh wait, I think that was the idea. She was trying to like get this cannon to point away from Moya's like
tender bits.
Yeah, but eventually realizing that that's not going to happen, she says instead, like, yes, do fire.
Yeah, very low power. Yeah,
yeah, just bust out a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you don't
basically
want
a space C-section performed by the baby. That's a new one.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to hit Moya's mivonks, but
yeah, Moya has lady mivonks.
Okay, I think we have an episode title.
We see more firefighting again. Zan is just quietly, dispassionately spraying death wherever she goes. Someone's sort of whistling, "Dead, dead, dead. The peacekeepers are dead."
The explosions up top on the Garnak base are matched by the explosion in Moya as Chiana goes running away and manages just in time to clear out of the passageway. She gets thrown around a bit, but other than that, she's fine. And apparently, the baby floats free.
The baby is clear. Good job, and we enjoy a moment of relief that that all is well. A firewall has blocked off a literal wall of fire has blocked off the peacekeeper soldiers, but John is
gets snatched by
grabbed by his gentleman mivonks.
Again,
Scorpius.
Scorpius shows up again, points a gun at John, and goes like, "Oh hi, and here we go again."
We're not done yet, and
nope,
no, Crichton.
You're not going with them.
Jelena shows up.
Yes.
Points a gun at him. Doesn't last long. John is like, yeah, shoot him. But
see how he laughs at Scorpius here?
Shoot him, Jelena.
It's a pained laugh. Like it's not
like,
even.
Oh, here we go.
Such complex emotions on his face here. But yeah, Jelena. I don't know if she's ever been trained to use a weapon like this.
No.
Scorpius doesn't hesitate.
Immediately shoots her.
Yeah. 2 shots. John shakes his arm loose.
Grabs the gun, fires a few ineffectual shots at Scorpius, who retreats.
Bravely runs away. Brave Sir Scorpius. Dargo shows up and they carry Jelena back to the pod, back on Moya, where everything is now sort of settled. They look out of the portal to see this ship, the baby floating past.
They take very great pains not to show too much. There's just a few shots which almost could have been also Moya.
What about Moya's child?
He's okay.
He? It's a boy?
Yes.
A male. Excellent.
What kind of a beast is he?
It's hard to see.
It is very hard to see. Everything's left a little bit in the dark, backlit. It's like they're clearly keeping their powder dry on this one. That's very obvious that they're trying not to show too much about this.
It's such a scintillating tease, though. I really enjoyed it. Like even the choice, the environment out in space. It's this red nebula. So you've got black and red. The offspring is black and red as well. So you're really relying on these reflections.
Peacekeeper black and red, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Jelena is not in a good state.
John tries to lift her spirits, tells her to let the medicine do its work. You'll be fine.
No more lies, John.
Everybody files out, but not until after our Barnick, our Barnick slave. I forgot his name. What's his name?
Bannock, Stark.
Bannock, Stark. Yes.
Stark is the barnacle.
The barnacle. He apparently shares that memory that he was holding on with her.
Yes. He waves his hand over her face and he tells her to hold on to that. Apparently it's beautiful and she's really enjoying it.
It calms her down. Everybody files out and only John remains behind.
And she asks for a kiss.
A kiss, yes.
John.
Yeah?
Do you think if things had been different, then you could have loved me?
Yeah.
And he kisses her and then she dies.
Yeah, and that's the end of the episode. It's
so tune in next week for another fun-filled episode of Farscape. Wow, like this is some heavy stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of a downer. It's like, I mean, death and birth together, I suppose, but
yeah. And they're not out of danger. They can't starburst with a baby hanging around. They can't move very fast at all.
And there's still a crisis command carrier.
I mean, they're still very close by. Like, apparently they're still cloaked. Jelena did help them using the...
yes.
I don't know that cloaked is the word, but they have a stealth trajectory or whatever.
Yeah, they're basically... There's some blind spots programmed into the base's detection systems.
Jelena scrambled the scanning data files. Even Crisis carrier can't find us now.
But they don't have Jelena to help them anymore. So, quick note review. Let's check our notes. There was one bit which I think is probably going to be my Woody. Rigel has some great lines in this episode, even though he doesn't have a lot to do, and even though he's super sleazy with Chiana in the pressure chamber. But before that, when they're talking about Moya's offspring, he talks about how he has fathered hundreds of progeny, and he was never present at the birth. You know, if it was my offspring, we wouldn't have that problem.
I think this is a trifle different, don't you? My progeny were tiny and handsome, like their father.
Yes.
Like their father.
Yes, and of course he's not even smug that the hundreds are only the official ones and not the ones
with his wives.
Yes.
But he's not a body breeder. Like
I guess not.
His idea of mating must be just spawning over some roe.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
Which one is roe? Is roe eggs?
No.
Like caviar. Is that
that's
roe?
eggs, yeah.
Because the other gunk is also something you eat.
No, it's not, I think.
Isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not that versatile in
cooking,
in
more so than I am.
Yes, but not in amphibious anatomy, so...
Yeah, okay, so that's going to be my... well, no, hold on. I'm going to have to think about this. Okay, you do your Willy and Woody.
She gives me a Woody.
She gives you the willies.
Okay, my Willy, I think, is definitely Rigel creeping out on Chiana. That's
God, that one's in the bag. Yeah, unanimous.
That's just like... It seems, like you said, uncharacteristic for
He's never shown
Rigel.
interest in bipeds before.
But he's
where's he
being
from?
super sleazy on that. Woody... Woody.
I mean, we've got a lot of good candidates. We've got Aaron in a PK uniform again.
Right,
which,
yes.
Woof, what a stud, what a babe, whatever you want to call her. Like that ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. Let me tell you.
I mean, yes, she looks great in that red uniform with the shoulder pauldron on her, which still looks a bit like someone cut up a big road tram
tractor
tire or
tire,
something.
right?
Yes, and put some extra studs on it. But it's fantastic costume design.
Speaking of design, honestly, the look that we get on the Offspring, the male Offspring,
right? Yes,
and once again, Rigel goes,
"Oh, it's a boy."
Excellent.
He seems to have some very peculiar ideas about that. Naming the episode? It's going to be Ah No, isn't it?
Oh, no.
We had some candidates. Actually, didn't I have a candidate earlier? Nah, maybe not that.
Well, yeah, either that or...
Oh, wait. Actually, I have a proposal from our friend Bostich.
Yes.
What do you think of Prepare for Starbirth?
Oh, very good. Yes.
Isn't that great?
That's amazing. Yes, let's go for that. Prepare for Starbirth.
And that's the story so Farscape.
We'll see you next week with episode 121, Born to be Wild. What kills you quicker, someone with a bone to pick or someone with a shrink ray? Find out on the Real Hunger Games.
You can find us at SoFarscape on Twitter and Facebook and on sofarscape.com. I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay.
So Farscape, so good.